Hey everyone, today we're going to do a quick look at my 1994 V.spec 2 GTR R32, and then I'm going to talk about the sort of trend to return the components of these cars to original as they become more collectible, and a neat gadget I discovered recently. So this won't be a full review of the car, we'll just have a quick look around it, and I'll actually concentrate on the things that are not standard about the car, the small changes that I've made along the way, and then at another time we'll do a full review. So let's have a bit of a tour around the car. So the V.spec 2 originally came with BBS wheels, but I've put these LMGT4 18-inch wheels on, which I think really set off the white paintwork really well. Lovely. The Nismo shaped rear spats here in carbon fibre are a copy of the V.spec rear spats. And again, I actually saw this on the internet, the carbon fibre look here, and I really liked it. Yes, Kitty. Yeah, it really works well. I think one thing with the white R32 GTRs is they can look really quite plain. So I've tried to add plenty of black accents to the car to sort of really make it a bit more badass looking. At the back, one of my favourite features I've added here is this Fujimura Rocket Dancer rear gurney flap, and I think that just looks sensational. And I added the matching boot lip spoiler here, which is designed after the Nismo spoiler. So the V.specs didn't usually come with these, usually just with the Nismo cars or the N1 cars. So going around, next obvious difference is the bigger exhaust. I've got a full 3-inch X-Force exhaust system. It's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful to look at, and it sounds incredible without being too loud. I really love it. And around the front, if we can get the cat out of the way, the Fujimura Rocket Dancer front lip spoiler. I tried a few options with lip spoilers on this car, and the Rocket Dancer one is a really good compromise between like being aggressive but not too low. I've never hit this thing on a speed bump or anything. It's a spoon drain. It's high enough, but it looks sensational. And I've got one more thing coming, which is I'm actually going to replace the little lip on the bonnet here with the matching Fujimura carbon, and that'll be the last change for the exterior. Okay, so let's go inside and have a look. Alright, so here we are inside the R32. I've actually made a change back to original here. This used to have an aftermarket steering wheel, but I found an original GTR steering wheel online and bought it, and I think, like, the original wheel, you can't beat it. GTR logo imprinted in the leather on the horn button, beautiful size, really chunky. It just, yeah, you've got to have it. And then I was lucky enough that everything else was pretty much original in the car. You can see these seat covers are not original. These are Nismo seat covers. My seats were a little bit faded, sun faded, so rather than reupholster the original seats, I got these Nismo covers. They're beautiful. They look like you've got a full set of leather seats, and they're very comfortable and quite yeah, beautifully made, fit perfectly. So yeah, the trend at the moment with JDM cars and all of the older classics is to try and make the cars original, keep the cars original, and everything I've done to this car on the outside, for example, is can be undone, and I've kept all original parts. Like when I've changed suspension or exhaust, I've kept the original parts. I was lucky enough that this car had its original stereo head unit, because they're extremely hard to find now, but the head unit on this wasn't working. A couple of things not working actually when I got it. One was the little clock here, which they often fail as well, but believe it or not, Nissan still sell them new, so there's still stocks of these R32 clocks available, so I bought one. The stereo head unit, you can look on Yahoo auctions. I've never seen one come up, but I assume they probably do come up from time to time. But I took my stereo out and I'll do a plug here for Adept Electronics. Adept Electronics in Main North Road in Adelaide. If it can be fixed, they'll fix it. And they fixed and serviced the head unit so that it's working again, which is great. I mean, if we just you know, turn this thing on, we can do yay radio. But you know, I guess one of the problems is that the Japanese FM range is much lower than say the Australian one, so I can pick up a whole like 2 FM stations. But then it does have a cassette deck, but obviously, you know, no one carries cassettes around anymore. However, I did find this really neat accessory on eBay, made by a company called Ion, cassette adapter Bluetooth. So what it is this goes into the cassette deck, and you can then pair it to your cell phone and stream music to the cassette, and this little adapter here will basically trick the cassette tape into thinking it's playing a tape, and voila, you have music, streaming music, digital radio, or you know, off Spotify or whatever. This thingy hanging out the front here is a microphone, because you can also do hands-free calling. It's just brilliant. I mean, you put it in, and yeah, it says, hey, there's a tape there, and you get the appropriate noises as it pairs with your phone, and you can just, yeah, start playing music. I mean, it's and that's now streaming off my phone, and it's like I had to replace the speakers as well because they were practically dissolved after 20 odd years of sitting in the sun and whatnot. But yeah, this car has a remarkably good sound system just for a 4-speaker system, and the clarity, you know, through this Bluetooth adapter is it's perfect. I mean, makes this car like super usable, almost like a modern car. So I'd certainly recommend that for all of the older cars that have got the cassette decks. But a good idea to get the head unit serviced first before you try to use it. I mean, probably the tape deck needs servicing, and you probably need to replace or you know, just service some of the components in those old decks. They're very old, and the capacitors in that tend to leak and so on. So yeah, so that's it. Now I've got the sounds in the car, and like in the last part of this video, why don't we just take it for a quick drive, and we'll compare the sounds of music to the sound of the RB26, and you can tell me in the comments below which one you prefer, the RB26 or the music. Alright, see you later.